Hello and welcome to this demonstration of the Younium Salesforce connector. We're going to look into, just in general, the connector, look at the workflows, the data flows, how things are synchronized and so forth. I'm gonna start by laying the foundation of the data flows here. So Salesforce obviously is probably your CRM, and it's where you have your sales processes. So here is where that process would reside, with new leads coming into Salesforce in the form of accounts, and running through all the stages in your sales process. This makes Salesforce the master of account data, so they come in first into Salesforce, and then you probably want this data to come into Younium when an account becomes an actual customer, and we want to get in the order into Younium as well of this new customer. So that's why there's also a workflow here between Salesforce and Younium where new orders are created in Younium from closed-won opportunities from the sales process. And for that, Younium is the product master. So you want to use Younium and our framework and the way you can structure products in Younium. And then in our Younium package in Salesforce, these products are synchronized into Salesforce into price books to use in when creating and customizing and editing sales opportunities. So you basically use a Younium product selector to create your opportunity, and when it's closed one, you will then use this opportunity to synchronize it into an order draft into Younium with these products that you've selected on that opportunity. So that's kind of how that works. And also in this Younium package, there are some fields that Younium creates that is from our framework necessary for orders, such as these period parameters like the effective start date of a subscription, and initial term, renewal terms, and those kind of things. Right? And then back from Younium to Salesforce, Younium gives back Salesforce data on subscriptions and invoices on accounts, right? So you can go into accounts and kind of see all the Younium data there that is necessary for managers that are in Salesforce and maybe not use Younium on a daily basis. So that's a little bit of the foundation, and I'm gonna show you the flow here. So I'm gonna start by hopping into Younium. You see we have a couple of test accounts here, and I just wanted to show you the products that we have here. So we have a platform product. It's a product type full, which means that if we go into this one, let's see, we have a bunch of charge plans here, one called Starter, Professional, Enterprise, and each of them has either two fees, a base fee and a user's fee, or just like a user's fee here. And then we have a couple of add-ons here. So we have one called Feature X, one called Feature Y, flat prices here, 250 euros, for example. And then we have an implementation fee here, a one-off, is priced differently. One called implementation starter for 3,000 euros, professional for 5,000, enterprise for 10,000. So that's the products we will use. So I'm gonna jump over here to Salesforce. So these two tenants are basically test tenants that are connected to each other. So I will start off by creating an account. We'll call it test 6 then. And then we need the currency here. This is also mapped to account currency in Younium, and the name obviously is mapped. And then you have some Younium information here that we take in the package. So organization number is a good idea. Maybe an invoice email, how the invoice should be delivered. In this case, maybe we want to deliver it as email, but it's not going to be possible. I don't have any email set up in my tenant, so I'm just going to do print here so we can print invoices. And then tax registration number, the reference or reference. Yeah, these are basically Younium fields on the Younium accounts. Also, as you don't have the dimensions of legal entities in Salesforce, but you do have that in Younium, right? Maybe you have a legal entity in United States, one in the UK, one in the Netherlands, one in Sweden, maybe. So you need to then also choose which legal entity this account belongs to, basically. So I'm just gonna put in the billing address here. Let's do a Swedish customer this time. There we go. So you can also see here is a button or a checkbox saying sync to Younium. So you probably don't want to do that until you close an opportunity as one on an account, because you only want customers accounts in Younium, right? But I'm gonna check that now, just because I don't have that workflow set up that if an opportunity is close one on an account, it should be synced to Younium. So I'm just gonna sync it right away. There we go. So then we have this test 6 account here. And you can see here also, here you have the objects, Younium orders and invoices, but we need to create those before they can pop up here. Okay, so I'm gonna create a new opportunity on this one called test 6 in some stage here. Oh, close date, maybe last of December. Account test 6. Here also Younium field, right? Invoice account. There might be another invoice account on the end order, right? Someone else that should receive the invoice and pay for it other than the end user account. But I'm not gonna select that for now. Right, references. And here we have the effective start date, right? So here we have some more Younium information, which is important, like effective start date, let's say 1st of January, initial term 12, renewal term 12, 1 month notice period, maybe auto renewal. And then we need to select the price book here that we have that's coming synchronized from Younium, right? So I have one called Younium Salesforce demo price book here that we will then use. Save. So when we're here in the opportunity page, we then have this product selector, the Younium package product selector that we have a button here for. So I'm going to press select products. So this is where you then select the products that the customer will use. What we set up in the opportunity would be the order header, like the contract terms for the order in Younium, and here is basically the product that they will then use. So let's choose first the platform product here. Let's choose the professional plan. Let's say they will have 5 users initially, or maybe 10. Saved opportunity. And then we'll choose maybe an add-on, feature X for 200. And then maybe the implementation here, professional in that case. 5,000 flat. All right, cool. So then we have the professional feature X implementation. So if we then say this is closed one, maybe you want this to then trigger that now the account is then synchronized to Younium, because this then becomes the customers. You might even want to trigger it to send to Younium, but for now I'm just going to press here send to Younium. Here we go. And then we should, well, actually first maybe we should have looked at the test 6 account here, right? So here we have the org numbers, stack numbers, invoice emails. You get the Salesforce ID. So for here you have the billing address. And then you can see here orders. Now we have an order graph here coming then from Salesforce from the opportunity. So then, in this stage, I mean, you can send them to Younium as active right away, but it might be a good idea to like have a controlling step here to see that everything looks good. You know, what we configure on the opportunity is more of like the commercial terms, right? Here we also want to make sure that the financial details are correct in terms of, you know, revenue accounts and how we defer the revenue and so forth, right? But if we think this looks good, we activate the order. And then maybe we want to invoice it right away, right? Create order, invoice. Here we go, professional platform, 1 year here, that's the billing period, 10 pieces. And then you know, the add-on here from 1 year, and then the implementation fee. So if we post this, it was just printed, then we need to print it, but otherwise it would go out to the customer, right? If you would send through email or e-invoice, for example, or send it to a financial system through a connector. So I'm just gonna do a really quick thing here now. Go into Salesforce settings and just manually sync ones here. This should obviously be set up as a scheduled job, just synchronize stuff back. But now I synchronize subscriptions and invoices back to Salesforce. So if we go to the account here, test 6, we can now see that the Younium order that we've created and the Younium invoice is here, right? So let's first look at the invoice. So it just has some information here. For example, the total amount, subtotal amount, it's settle amount. So you see the status here, right? It would be paid if it's paid, posted, that means it's been sent, right? You have the due date, for example. And if we go to the order here, you would then see the order head here, right? The contract terms that we put in, right? The values of the contract, and you know, some stuff here. And then you see the related page here shows then the charges on it. So here we have this professional charge that we added, the value, quantity here, right? All this stuff and so forth. So if we go back to the order here, you can also, so this is a question for many organizations depending on how you're structured and how you do things. So if you would do, you know, if you would have account executives doing new sales, maybe you just want to, you know, do change orders in Younium for upsells and so forth. The account managers do that and manage the current customers and subscriptions and the renewals and maybe cancellations and so forth. You know, there could also be a case where you have a connected to a customer success management system in which some stuff is done from there, maybe trigger renewals, some, you know, basic stuff. Or it could be that, you know, the customer has a self-service portal, right? Or you have a self-service portal on your platform and changes come in through there, like maybe, you know, they increase number of users themselves or add on and so forth, right? But if in your organization you have the structure that account executive also does upsells and you know, on existing customers and renewals and so forth, or that, you know, your account managers are working in your CRM, you can also basically do change orders here from Salesforce on then this order that we have in Younium, and renewal orders and cancellation orders. So for example, if we create a change order, let me show you real quick here. Change test 6.1, post date today, save. You see that, like, okay, we will create a new opportunity here, which is a change opportunity. So the products will come in here, you know, from the current subscription, and then you will then do a change here and maybe add new product or change the product and so forth. And when you send that to Younium, it would become a change order on this existing one here, right? Okay, so that was a very general demo, 15 minutes of Salesforce. Hope you got a good fundamental understanding of the connector, and let me or any of my colleagues know if you have any questions. Thanks.